What's going on? Sorry, kind of choked. Anyway, what's going on, my Century Galaxy? It's the Centuryman here. I'm doing a live stream. I just come up with this topic for this wrestling video. Monday Night Raw has been around since 1993, 28 years, 3 decades. YouTube wrestling channels are talking about the show Monday Night Raw, how it's unwatchable these days. With the low ratings and the decline attendance. Before the whole COVID-19 pandemic hits. They were doing shows in half arenas. So it's been around, really the decline of Monday Night Raw for last, I don't know, a decade, about 10 until 15 years, very close to 15 years, when WWE went PG. So, 10 to 13 years, those, when Raw's decline compared to, its heyday in the Attitude Era in those late 90s to the ruthless aggression Raws of, the early mid 2000s. So I'm trying to keep this short and simple. I'm not making it like an hour long stream. I give about 5 to 10 minutes. Anyway, so I come up with these reasons. This not the least to the most. They're just my reasons why Raw suck these days. It's been suck ever since. How to fix them. So yeah. I prefer watching these Raws from the early 2000s. I'll get to it a little shortly. Anyway, so the first reasons why Raw sucked. It's the 3 hours. It's boring. It's boring. You know, Ever since Raw bumped up to 3 hours way back in I say 2012. The Raw 1000 show, and they've been doing like Raw 3 hour shows ever since. The show's been boring. Like I said, those 2012 Raws. Yeah, they're not terrible, but not perfect, but it's still watchable. It's still watchable. But compared to the Raw you see right now, it's unwatchable. Because no one will spend like 3 hours on Monday nights talking, not talking, but watching. I'm trying to say, no one will watch a 3 hour show every Monday nights. Or it could be like a 2 hour show. Raw used to be a 2 hour show before they bumped up to 3 hours. Or maybe 2.5 hours. SmackDown's 2 hours, NXT's 2 hours, Impact Wrestling's 2 hours, AEW Dynamite's 2 hours. They don't. I guarantee they will never go up to 3 hours. It's boring. If they did it once or twice, like a special episode, it'd be okay. Like I said, those early 2012s. It's not perfect, but it's still watchable. It wasn't terrible, wasn't perfect, but it's still watchable. And then by the time the Authority era hit in those those early mid 2010s, it was starting to be an unwatchable show, and it's still the unwatchable show ever since. Monday Night Raw is. How about like just like cut it down to maybe maybe not 2 hours, but 2.5 hours, but just cut it to 2 hours. Why have to be 3 hours? That's Raw these days. A 3 hour show, like a show that people don't have the time to watch. 3 hours. People just watch. I watch like clips on Raw on YouTube. I don't want to like watch a 3 hour show because it's boring to watch a show. It's not really the same compared to those Attitude Eras or Ruthless Aggression eras. Maybe in the 90s Raws, those. Yeah, when Raw was like crap in the WWE was crap back in those, early to mid 90s, but it's still like it was a new show. But yeah, today's Raw has been shit. 3 hours is boring. Just bunk it down a bit. The hours. If they, like it was not a bad idea way back in those early 2010s, in 2012. But right now, you think back, yeah, maybe it's a mistake, doing a 3 hour Raw, if it's a special episode, maybe, but yeah, 2 hours, yeah, it's boring, you know. It's just like, if the it's just like it's watching a 3 hour. I don't mind watching a 3 hour movie, but sometimes movies are not to make to be a 3 hour movie. Sometimes because it's like depends the plot, because sometimes the plots in movies could be a little boring, kind of dragged. That's Raw these days. It's dragged. It's 3 hours. you know, 2 hours is fine because you get like a breathing space. You can probably take a break. If you record Raw, just watch it and then watch it again, later on. So yeah, the 3 hours is just like it's the number one reason why Raw, is unwatchable these days. How about number two? Number two has to be the repeatable matches. The repeatable matches. And like I repeat, no one has the time to, really, yeah, no one has, the reason why Raw, it sucks. No one has the time to watch the same matches every week, because why could be like, if they did this once or twice, I'll be okay. But doing these same repetitive matches every single month, it's just like, come on now. You don't need to do like the same match every single time, because I might do a future video how to make WWE great again. That'll be in the near future. But how about like save those matches towards a pay-per-view? By the time the pay-per-view hits, people won't care about who fighting, whether it's a singles match or whether a tag team match. Save it towards the pay-per-view. You don't have them fighting every week. Those repair matches time and time again. It's like, it's like I feel like it's the same plot every single week. It's just like no sequel, no new story. It's just like time and time and time again. I'm not gonna crap on the segments. Yeah, the segments. I'm not gonna go talk about the segments. But like the matches again, it's just like, can you just change it up a little bit? It's like AEW Dynamite. At least with AEW Dynamite, they do something different. You don't have fucking like, it's getting repaired now with the Kenny Omega and the John Moxley rivalry. Yeah, they don't have them facing each other in the ring every single week on Dynamite. They're fighting tag team matches, but take it out of the ring. You don't have to be in the ring every single time. Do like a segment or something. But yeah, that's a second reason why Raw's unwatchable. The same repetitive matches. Um, Number three, I'm gonna go with the promo segments. Sucked. The promo segments in today's Raw sucked. They need to stop doing these scripted promos. Why do they just like say it towards the heart? It's not the wrestlers' fault. It's basically Vince and his writers writing it down. They're just like, they sound like they're not like human beings. They sound like they're from a poorly scripted TV show. How about like, just ditch it, say it towards the heart, and yeah, just say it, say it towards the heart. Don't, yeah, I feel like they sound stupid every single time. It's not like organic. It's it's kind of forced. So that's number three, the scripted promos. Number four, I'm gonna go with the they don't push the limits. They don't push the limits. They don't push the envelope. I'm trying to say. So they never push the envelope. Yeah, it's PG. It's fucking PG. Back in those attitude eras, ruthless aggression eras, like you had someone getting like run, not really necessarily run over. You don't have blood. People getting covered in blood. You don't get like people getting covered in shit. Actual shit. Great example. This is from 2006. When Triple H, Shawn Michaels, just like Vince and Shane. You got confronted by Vince and Shane, the McMahons and the Spirit Squad, and they got covered in shit. The least, people find it, the DX stuff in 2006, debatable, but at least they're covered in shit. Now covered in slime. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. How about like pouring a lot of swearing into it? I'm not saying everyone swears every single time in promos, but pushing the envelope. You had fucking Edge having sex with Lita on in the bed, had sex in the ring. The live sex celebration after he defeated John Cena at New Year's Resolution in 2006. And it got a really good rating. How about push the sex? Push the envelope. Don't do it every single time. Just push it. Don't. How about here's another one. How about stop appealing to kids? How about appealing the both demographics? I feel like they are ignoring they're really ignoring the adults portion of the WWE fan base and more focus on catering with kids. How about appealing to both? How about the first hour catering to kids and the next 2 hours focus on the adults? Make every both fan bases happy. And also, yeah, blood. Bring back blood. Like a Crimson Mass. Go and watch those Ruthless Aggression eras. That's a violent period. That was one of the best periods in pro wrestling history in WWE. The Ruthless Aggression era. They still pushed envelope. They still had violent moments where people were bleeding, sexual stuff. We don't see that in Raw. It's just feel like, it's just, it's childish. And it's just like some of the stuff it's so forced and not organic. And also the next one I'm going to talk about is the commentary sucked. It's been sucked ever since for years now. Ever since they not focus on Jim Ross and the focus on Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and JBL. Michael Cole is a fine commentator, but besides that, he's not like a Jim Ross. He's not a Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon. He's just predictable and boring and stale. Jerry Lawler was past his best. JBL was watered down. He's not the same JBL from the 2006 period, in the Ruthless Aggression era. You had Booker T was terrible. Samoa Joe was good. DL Madden was good. Tom Phillips sucked. Baron Saxton sucked. What's his name? Adnan Virk. That was his name. I hear, yeah, that commentator. I not see, but I hear his voice. On a Raw, I saw a clip of Adnan Virk's, the new commentator on Monday Night Raw. He sucked. Heard SmackDown's got Pat McAfee, as the commentator. He fucking he was good. He's confident. And you used to have Mauro Ranallo. They got rid of him. That's dumb. Yeah, it's due to the COVID pandemic thing, but why you get rid of Mauro Ranallo? He was a good commentator. He got that bit of a Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone presence, but with the commentators sucked. Adnan Virk sucked. Got rid of Samoa Joe was a bad idea. He was good on commentary. I think he was frustrated about not wrestling in the ring. He was injury prone, but he was good on commentary. And also get rid of the 3-man commentary team, man. It sucked. Why are they doing it? They've been doing it since 2009. They're trying to cover what WCW did in the 90s. Don't work. Back in those Nitro days in the mid 90s, it kind of worked. You had in the early days of Monday Nitro, I covered those Nitros on my channel. You had Eric Bischoff, Bobby Heenan, and Steve Mongo McMichael, and then later on they had Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, sometimes Dusty Rhodes, sometimes Larry Sabisco, even Mike Tenay will join. Do the part of the team for the cruiserweight match. It kind of worked. Right now, AEW kind of worked. With Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur, but I wish they'd go back to the 2-man commentary team, have the play-by-play man and a color commentary, and you can have a third person if you put him in the Mike Tenay role, because Mike Tenay always does he analyze the background of the cruiserweights. He was the color commentary man in Impact Wrestling, because he's not really an Impact, a play-by-play man. He's more of a, describing and analyze, the backgrounds of those wrestlers. You get, that's another story for another time. But yeah, the commentary was the reason why Raw's been sucked ever since. They don't sell you the story. that could be the reason. So anyway, and also another one I'm gonna talk about. I might do a part two in the near future. So just write down why Raw sucked. I might do a part two in the near future. So I'm gonna end with another one. This is so far it's 50. It's been past 15 minutes. Anyway, number 5. They don't showcase a lot of tag team wrestling. Yeah, Raw's been the tag team division on Raw is so non-existent, and they don't give a shit. A little, like I said, AEW is a little different because at least with AEW they focus a lot of they focus on tag team wrestling. Raw don't do that. Yeah, they do like tag team matches, but they're meaningless. The schmozzes. How about like do like a tag team tournament? Give it, rebuild the Raw tag team division, or just unify both the tag team belts from Raw and SmackDown. I feel like every time there's a tag team match, like I don't really give a shit. Like AEW tag team matches, I give a fuck. At least it's like building something, or even like it's going for the challenge for the tag team titles. But for tag team wrestling in WWE, I'm talking about main roster WWE, but not NXT or NXT UK. They're doing fine, but yeah, it's just like the tag team division, and even the women's tag team division, no one gives a fuck. Yeah, I feel like because doing the tag team division for the women, that was a bad mistake for WWE. But yeah, the Raw tag team division is so non-existent. They don't focus on tag team the division in both Raw and SmackDown. It's not their priority. How about showcase a lot? Put like 1 or 2 tag team matches. They used to do a 6-man tag team match. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that they've been doing it ever since. But at least it's like the showcase a lot. But now it's just singles, singles, singles. So maybe sometimes a tag team match or 6-man tag team match. How about like showcase it? And also I'm gonna end another one. How about like a cliffhanger? Everyone has how about do a cliffhanger? Like, back to the take some risk. There's another one. How about like someone's car's get crushed by a vehicle, or even like that's like covered in cement. How about like a cliffhanger? Like someone's gonna get attacked, or you're gonna get fired next week if you lose that match next week. Any type of cliffhanger. But instead, it's just basically there was no cliffhangers. I feel like I'm not. It's just like that's the reason why it's not like people are not tuning in. No cliffhangers. You got every show has the cliffhanger. Great example. Like I cover a lot of Marvel stuff, like WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They got cliffhangers building up to what's going to happen next week. Why could they? Every show does that. If they don't have a cliffhanger, how? It's like give me one reason why I don't tune in. No cliffhangers. I don't watch today's British soap operas because it's a bit like a soap, a cliffhanger. It's just kind of boring. It's unwatchable. That's another story for another time. So this is kind of like a part 1. So might do a part 2 in the near future. So I'm gonna end this stream. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button and subscribe to the Central Mind Network on YouTube. And this is the Central Mind officially signing out. Check you later.